Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back, welcome back. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the live, y'all. How are y'all doing on this fine Monday evening? How are you guys doing? If you're watching the replay, make sure you say hey down below. I love seeing you guys say hey to me in the chat. Today we're going to be talking about 10 reasons why you should never get married and or why you should never marry someone else. If you find that one of these things is something that you don't feel too good about, you should probably rethink marriage, okay? So that's what we're going to talk about. I'm going to go ahead and put a question in the chat. Hello, Ashta Mahad, how are you doing, my friend? How are you? Okay, so yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and put a question in the chat. Hello, Andrew. And make sure you guys answer the question. And make sure y'all like the video. I see we've had some people already here who was liking the live before we got on today. So that is something. That is something. So yeah. How y'all doing today? I'm doing well. Today was a good day. So the question I'm asking is, are you ready for marriage? Because today's topic is talking about why you should never get married, this will be a good self-reflection question for us all to think about. Are you ready for marriage with all the things that we know about marriage so far? So yes, no, I don't know. Super ready, like today. Everything's moving along accordingly. I love that for you. Yeah, Andrew, you had asked a question. You had asked me a question about, what was it? You asked me a question earlier. I thought that was an interesting question because I never really heard of heard it put in that way, but that was a really interesting question to think about. How y'all doing? Make sure y'all like the live today. Let me make sure I do my intro before I type the rest of this. Hello, everybody. My name is Meiana. I am a sage woman and an inner work coach. I help disconnected and overwhelmed men and women like you come back to themselves, do the inner work so that they can gain inner stability and so that their external life can reflect their internal world. Have you ever felt like things were just a little too hard, or you felt like you kept beating up against the same wall and you kept coming across the same situation in your life and it was difficult for you to comprehend it? Well, I'm here to help you identify the patterns and the programs that you're experiencing and put it into words so that you can understand it yourself as well. So make sure that you guys book a free 15-minute consultation down below in the description if you're interested in getting some support with either emotional regulation, mindset, anything that you're interested in, if you're ready to stop living hard. So make sure you book a free 15-minute consultation. I'm going to read the poll question answers in just a second. Give me 1 second. Y'all let me know how y'all are doing today, if y'all have not had the opportunity. So again, we're talking about 10 reasons why you should never, ever, 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 ever get married. If one of these things, if you feel like one of these things are you should never get married. Ever. Just don't get married. It's just not for you. Marriage is not for everybody. And if you are with a partner and you feel like your partner cannot do these things, that is a clear sign that it's probably not the time to marry your partner. Maybe give it a little time, maybe wait and go to therapy a little bit before you guys make that commitment, because with us knowing already that divorce is a high percentage of divorce already, let's not waste time. Let's be as serious as possible. As they say, let's be as serious as a heart attack. Okay? So we're gonna go ahead and get into it because I don't really want to wait that long. Like, I'm a little tired of having to wait so long. I usually wait till 10-minute mark, but divorce is as high percentage as a divorce. No, what I was saying is just that divorce has a high percentage. We know that the divorce has a high percentage already. Absolutely, divine completion. It's an interesting subject. A lot is supposed to unfold. We shall see. We shall see. Yeah, I feel like we are already set. When we get our mind set in ways, we're already set. There's been many things that, as an intuitive young woman, I've dreamed about things way before they manifested in real time, many times in my life. So, calm down. Is it too much energy? Am I too much for you at the moment? We got 5 people who voted, y'all. Let's see what everybody said. So 60% said yes, and then 40% said I don't know. So that's very interesting. I'm surprised that so many people said yes. Y'all, I know y'all like to know my opinion. If it was me, am I ready for marriage? I don't think I'm quite ready for marriage, but I'm ready to date. Hey, date, and then learn, keep growing as a very wise young woman. I know myself, and I will not put myself in a predicament that I'm not ready for. So let's go ahead and get into the conversation. We're going to start from 10 and we're going to count down to 1. So I was looking towards the 1 being one of the most important reasons why you should never get married. And if you've been here, you probably have an idea what 1 is. But as you'll see, all of these are just as important, but some are more important than the others. What? So let's go ahead and start with number 10. Hold up. There we go. So for number 10, the number 10, right? This is one reason why you should never, ever, ever get married. You should never get married if you're not safe with stability. Because marriage is a forever commitment, and you have to form some form of stability in your marriage. And if you cannot do that, if you're constantly subconsciously seeking chaos, if you're subconsciously seeking novelty, that is not the glue that holds marriage together. We learned that when it comes to spending your leisure time with your spouse, most of the leisure time that's going to be the most important is the daily leisure time, like the little things during the day. And a lot of times novelty is not as expected, or it doesn't happen as often as the cohesion of leisure time. So like getting morning coffee with your partner, or drinking tea to discuss y'all's morning, or in the evening drinking tea before bed to discuss y'all's day, or taking walks together. Those are going to be the leisurely activities that keeps a marriage together. Novel activities like maybe going to a concert or taking a weekend getaway, that may be like once a month. And for some couples, that's once every 3 months, once every year. We don't want to get that far, okay? But we want to stick to the number of maybe once a month of having novelty in your relationship. So, but if you're expecting that every day and or every week, that may cause a disruption in your relationship. And we know that partners who have a high novelty seeking and low emotional stability show significantly lower marital satisfaction and higher divorce risk. So you don't want to put yourself in that predicament, right? So let's just don't get married, okay? Just don't do it. So also, trauma survivors who grew up in a chaotic home often associate stability with boredom or threat. So we want to make sure that novel seeking, those risk taking behaviors are looked at and you can evaluate yourself before committing to something that is not going to be as novel. It's probably going to be boring sometimes to come home to the same person every day, you know? So we know that marriage requires some form of predictability. That's going to look like routines. It's going to look like safety, stability, and also long-term planning. You have to have a long-term vision when it comes to being married. So if peace feels unsafe to you, or maybe you don't even know how to identify that feeling of peace and stability within you, it may be an uncomfortable feeling because you're not used to it. You will definitely unconsciously create more drama or conflict and emotional distance in your relationship. And what happens is this destroys that relationship, and that will be one of the biggest predictors to your downfall in divorce, right? So you want to look at, am I able to really be stable? Do I have inner stability within myself, or am I often seeking some form of excitement through risk or any of those things? So the ninth reason why you should never, ever, ever get married, just don't do it, is because you are not ready to share your free time. Again, we know the importance. If you watched our episode on the secret that keeps marriages together, we know the importance of leisure time. Spending free time with your partner. Leisure time is just free time that you have. So if you are someone who wants to spend all of your time with the boys playing video games, and you don't really have a desire to make time to spend with your partner, it's probably not going to last, because what happens is in those leisurely moments is when you get the time to get to know your partner, build trust, build emotional connection, build that stability and the security that your relationship consists of, and also communicate. So if you don't have the time to spend with your partner, just don't get married. It's not worth it. So we know that couples who engage in shared leisure time have higher sexual satisfaction, higher emotional intimacy, and they also have a lower divorce risk in altogether. These are, you spending leisure time with your partner is what's going to promote and boost those hormones that connect and bond you and make you happy. So you want to make sure that if you don't, if you want to get married, you want to make sure you're spending time with your partner. So don't get married if you don't have the free time to spend with your partner, and or you just don't want to spend extra time with an outside person outside of you, okay? So the eighth reason, I think I'm moving kind of fast. I feel like I'm moving a little fast because we at 8 already, but we have so many, and we'll talk about it later, y'all. We'll talk about it later. Once we get to 10 votes, I'll see what the votes are looking like. But let's talk about number 8. The 8th reason why you should never get married. Number 8. If you do not like life, if you feel like marriage is slavery, if you have no personal vision, no personal goals, don't get married. Y'all know we've been doing this for over 30 days. About 30 days. Towards the end, it's going to be about 30 days of us talking about marriage and me researching marriage and getting all this information. So obviously, if you're looking at one thing for 30 days, you're going to start seeing trends. And one thing that I noticed is that a lot of hopeless people don't see the value in marriage. The problem with that is that they still want to be with somebody, but they have these limiting beliefs like, oh, all men are trash, or all men are cheaters. Oh, y'all, I'm not even seeing the chat. I'm sorry, y'all. Where is the serious women who want to start a family? Oh, no. Hey, y'all. I didn't see y'all chatting it up in here. Hey, Cornbread. You've been here about 10 days. Hey, GR. Hey, Rico. Hey, y'all. I didn't see y'all in the chat. I'm sorry. I just now noticed. So, one of the things that I noticed, like looking over this, is how a lot of people have how they speak about marriage. And like even seeing some people look at marriage as slavery, and I get it. If you go into a marriage not being an autonomous person, child, if you go into a marriage not being an autonomous person and you allow someone to take over so much of your life and hold so much emotional stock in your life, it's probably gonna feel like slavery. So understand that if you're already depressed, you already have no value, like not values, you already have no vision, no purpose in your own personal life. You getting with somebody else is going to only magnify that, and it's going to create an unhealthy dynamic. Hey, Shadow. So depression, hopelessness, and meaninglessness significantly predict marital dissatisfaction and divorce. You're probably going to notice this. Like, let's say that you just have way too much time on your hand, right? Like, you don't have a job, you don't have anything to devote your time to. You're probably going to be feeling more like this, like not having much joy, if you don't have nothing going on in your life. So don't try to replace that with marriage. Don't think that marriage is going to save you from the hopelessness and the depression that you already have. And don't think that you can just up and change your whole mindset just because you get married. If you came in with a mindset of marriage is slavery, right? Even if you find the right guy, if your mindset is marriage is slavery, you're going to perceive life in that mindset, right? So be careful. Take some time before you just go and commit to somebody. I don't think you should get married if you have that mindset. So another thing, individuals with low life satisfaction struggle with co-creating a shared future. We know that in marriage, you come together as one to create a vision of life. You guys are a union, you co-create life together. So if you don't have the ability to have your own personal vision, then you'll be relying on someone else's vision, and that's not healthy. You're supposed to have separate visions that can come together and make sense as a unit. Hello, D Nice. So understand that when you get married, it's only going to intensify who you already are. When you have somebody in your face all the time, every day, it's going to show you who you are, because you're going to be more reflecting. You're going to be thinking more about yourself, right? So if you have no personal vision, your marriage will not have a vision, right? Won't have a healthy vision and have no shared vision. Your partner cannot be your purpose at all. Somebody outside of you cannot be the reason why you live. And then your marriage cannot be your identity. You can't just be a husband, nor you can't just be a wife. There's more to you than just that label. So that is the 8th reason why you should never get married. Let's go to number 7. So the 7th reason, and I told you guys once we got to 10 votes, I will read the poll. So we actually got to 13. Oh, wait, isn't it the same as dating always in our face? No. Being married and dating is 2 different things. So yeah, 50% said, okay, so we got 14 votes. So we're gonna read it like this. 7 people said yes, they are ready for marriage. Congratulations to y'all. And then we got, let's see, 21% said no, they are not ready for marriage. 14% said I don't know if they're ready for marriage. And 14% said super ready, like today. Like today, they're ready to get married today. You married, B Ford? Okay, yeah. Okay. How y'all doing today? Make sure y'all double tap the live, y'all. Mind y'all, I noticed with yesterday's live, they really liked that live. Like, they was popping. They liked the interracial conversation. So I don't know how I'm gonna tie that into future conversations. But I see that the interracial conversation was loved. So that was very interesting to me. So the 7th reason why you should never ever get married, or you should never ever marry someone if you see this in them, is that they've never built anything long term. They have a low endurance and they have never committed to anything. Like, you telling me you've never even committed to like a pet, a lease, a car note, a business, a job. You've never been at a job for like, a few years at least. Like, where is the endurance and stability in your life and the commitment in your life? The only thing you could commit to is comfort. It's not adding up. It's not adding up whatsoever. So, commitment is a big deal when it comes to being married because you have to be committed. And as I've been asking multiple married couples questions, and this was the best marriage advice that I heard from all the people who I've talked to. And I told you guys already, but this marriage advice came from a mentor. He is an older Indian man, probably like in his 60s. I don't know his exact age, but he's been married for a while. He has a very calm, cool demeanor. And he told me that if you think that the grass is greener, that means you're not committed. Like, if you're even looking at the grass to even have the thought that the grass is greener, you're not committed. And he basically was like, what a lot of marital issues stem from inner issues. So oftentimes if you're looking at the grass being greener somewhere else, that means you have a problem within yourself. Sometimes it's not always the marriage itself that has the problem. Sometimes we have to work with ourselves first and then follow from outside of that. It was a controversial conversation yesterday. Controversy. Ooh, GR. Maybe that's what it was. That's what it was. Maybe we need to start having more controversy. How can we build more controversy on the channel? Might not be ready then. How can you love someone different when y'all get married? How can you love someone different? I don't know. I think that you love them the same. I think marriage is just the commitment. You should love them in a way the same. It's just a level of commitment that is different. Interracial dating is beautiful. You should try it if you have not. Okay. I'll think more about how to build more controversy for the channel, y'all, in a positive way. Nothing too crazy. Nothing too crazy, y'all. But I'm going to look into it. So, again, if someone has never been really committed to something, we understand that long-term maintenance skills predict marriage survival more than passion or compatibility. And another one is secure functioning individuals maintain routines, commitments, and responsibilities even during emotional shifts. And I think that's one of the biggest things to pay attention to is how are these people dealing with emotional shifts? Do they just up and leave their commitments when they get overwhelmed or when they get too emotional? Do they make emotional mindset decisions? Because that's going to say a lot for when you guys are married and you guys go through conflict. Are they going to be reacting to you in an emotional state? Are they going to have the understanding that I am committed to this marriage? Therefore, I'm going to have a level-headed mindset when dealing with our conflict. Hey, John, how are you doing, friend? So that is number 7. That's the 7th reason why you should never get married, is because if you cannot be committed, if your partner cannot be committed, and there have been no evidence to their commitment in various ways, that's going to show you that they can't do it with you. And sometimes people have to stop being delusional. There are so many delusional people who think that I'm different, and I don't even think it's a conscious thinking, but it shows in their actions when they see their partner do one thing and think that they're not going to do the same with them. If you see your partner lying to 80 people and you just been knowing them for a year and you think you're not the 81st person, it's a level of delusion there. Did I eat? What I ate? What did I eat? Stop. What did I eat? Hey, Oscar. So it's definitely a level of delusion, Rico. Yeah, it's a level of delusion. And we cannot be delusional. We have to see life as, because people talk about, how do I know I can trust them? How can I trust How can I trust them? How do you trust people? You trust people by seeing who they consistently show up as. They consistently show up as someone, some type of thing, right? Some type of person, their actions, their behaviors, the words that they say, and that shows how you trust them. If you see somebody going and eating McDonald's every day, you can't trust to think that they're going to take you to Cheesecake Factory. I'm not saying it's not possible, but let's not live in delusional land, okay? Let's see what's happening for real, for real. Why? What do you need help with? What do we need help with? What's the help for? Hey, Martin. Trust their actions, Andrew. He put it in the best words ever. Easy. Trust their actions. What are you consistently seeing? Oscar said, like Tupac said, never trust nobody. You could trust people, but you just trust them for what they show you. That's it. You don't trust words, just trust actions. Thank you, Martin. Your anxiety, breathe, baby. Every day you need to wake up when the sunlight hits the sky. Typically, it's getting wintertime. So I don't know what time it comes up in the sky. Let's say 7, 8 o'clock. When it's 8 a.m. in the morning, you need to get up, go outside, feet to grass, and breathe. That's all you got to do if you got anxiety. Just do it every day for a month to see what happens. So, the 6th reason why you should never get married. Y'all ready? Breathe, y'all. Y'all know I got a little accent. It's a little dialect. My dialectal difference. Breathe. There you go. Breathe. TH. So, the 6th reason why you should never, ever get married. I'm telling you, don't do it. You're going to have years of regrets. Make sure y'all like the video if y'all ready for number 6. If y'all ready for number 6, make sure y'all like the video. This is going to save you years of regret. This information that I'm providing you is from over a month long of me studying this stuff. It may even been a little longer because I've been researching this stuff a little bit long, a little over a month. This is over a month of me studying peer-reviewed articles about marriage and what leads to higher satisfaction in marriages, okay? So if you cannot do this thing, do not get married. Just stop it. Just stop it. Why I sound so silly? Because I'm a clown. So this is the 6th reason why impulsive you don't need to convince most men, sweetheart. That's hilarious. Okay, Carter, please don't start doing this in the chat, baby. There's multiple hotlines that you can call. I'm gonna put you on mute. Hold up. I'm gonna put you on timeout for a minute. I need you to just think about the words that you keep saying in this chat. There's multiple hotlines, baby. I need you to call one of them. Go to google.com and look them up and talk to somebody for free. Y'all don't be putting laughing faces and emojis. I'm not being funny. I'm being for real. I know I be being funny, but I'm not being funny. Somebody said, oh, girl, I'd rather give up my firstborn than get married because that's a lot of commitment I'm not ready for. Okay, hopefully you don't have a firstborn. Let's just not bring children into it. So let's say pinky toe, maybe. Give up the pinky toe. No babies. Vish said, go ahead with number 6. He said, you talk too much. Hey, Cornbread again. Hola. Hola, Mexico. You said, I am married. My daughter stays in Memphis, Tennessee. Okay. Hello, Jerry. Hey, y'all. Okay, so let's talk. Vish said, hurry up and talk about number 6. Okay, I'm sorry, Vish. The 6th reason why you should never get married is because you cannot take accountability, nor you can forgive. You cannot forgive, nor you can take accountability. That is the reason why you should never get married. And your partner cannot do that. That's how it be happening. That's what happens. Y'all been dating. Y'all start dating and then y'all rush marriage because on the internet and on the TV, on the Netflix shows, you see Love is Blind. You see Love Island where they got together and they committed after a week of knowing each other. And now they super famous because they was on this TV show where they was isolated from the world and all they could eat is avocado toast for breakfast and go swimming and do challenges where they was kissing random people that they don't know. You've been watching them shows And now you got with this partner and y'all got together so quick and you forgot that they haven't even showed you that they could take accountability. And now y'all be having these issues, they not taking accountability, but you keep forgiving them. There's a problem. There's a problem. So we know that the number one predictor of divorce is failure to repair problems in the relationship. So it's not always the fact that people have conflict, it's the fact that they cannot repair the conflict. And what happens with repairing is there needs to be someone taking accountability so that trust can be maintained and security can be maintained in the relationship. And that's not even hard. That's just saying, I'm sorry, or that was my fault. I won't do it again. And then so the other person has to be able to forgive. If those things are not happening, the marriage is not going to be able to repair conflict, and you guys will sit in resentment, and it will last, and it will be the disruptor, and it will be the root cause of a marriage failing. Okay. So, there's going to be some things that are not easy to forgive, like cheating, manipulation, abuse, lying, like intense, crazy lying. That's going to be very difficult to get over. But understand that if you just so want your marriage to last, right? Hopefully it's nothing to that extreme. Hopefully it's simple stuff like, why did you eat my Oreo cookies, that you have to forgive, or you showing up a little bit late, you showing up 5 minutes late. Hopefully it's not that bad. But understand that holding grudges increase cortisol. So that is a negative hormone in your body. And it really is, it's having a lot of cortisol in your body is unhealthy for women. It can be a reason why you hold on to so much fat. Even if you exercise, you have so much fat and stuff on you, is because you have high cortisol. Or that you have, for both men and women, it can lead to different illnesses, having a high cortisol in your body. And also holding on to grudges destroys intimacy, especially long lasting. And we know that one of the forms of intimacy is getting over conflict. The ability to get over conflict builds intimacy. So if you're not repairing y'all's conflict, destroying trust, decreasing intimacy, right? And it's separating you guys. So, this matters because if you are defensive, blame shifting, or even avoidant, you cannot repair things. You trying to talk to your partner about why there's a $400 bill, and they don't want to communicate with you because they have an unhealthy relationship with money. How are you going to repair this? How are you going to build trust? Conflict resolution, exactly. If you cannot forgive, resentment becomes a prison. So now you are stuck in a mindset, and we know that one thing that happens in any relationship is that people get very worrisome, and they start to perceive life in that state of how they're worrying, and they start to perceive every action that their partner does in that state of their own worry, and that decreases their satisfaction in their marriage. So we have to learn to be accountable, and we have to learn to forgive in a marriage. Marriage requires softness, humility, and quick repair cycles. Quickly repair the issues that you're experiencing. Let me see what y'all talking about before we go to number 5, y'all. Somebody said, come to Africa. I can't wait. One day we're going to go to Africa. The word is kryptonite to a large chunk of people. Okay, let me see. I wonder what you was talking about when you said that. You said that's real because conflict coming sooner or later. It is sooner or later. That takes maturity, which is something that's lacking in today's world. Unfortunately, it's unfortunate, but we gotta hold ourselves accountable, and we can't compare ourselves to the people out there. We gotta live in our own mind. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna remove this because I don't know. I don't want that on my live. It sounds a little weird. How can you check cortisol at home? I don't know. You will probably have to go to a doctor. I'm not a doctor though. Well, I know I've been married. Turned out to be a bad idea. Well, was any of those things a problem that made it a bad idea for you, Sean? He said both people have to compromise and actually forgive with judging them afterwards, but making slick jokes, etc. Without. Okay. Yeah, Andrew, I agree. Hello, Kaden. Marriage isn't the way, I can promise you that much. The way to what, though? What you mean when you say the way? Because we all know that marriage is not the way to happiness, for sure. Marriage is not the way to happiness. Marriage is not the way to identify your identity, to see your values. You have to have all of those before you get married. Marriage is a way to have a commitment that is trusting that you can build your lineage and you can have children in, and you can build a family, and you can grow in property and finances and wealth. That is what marriage is for. Marriage is not because you love somebody so much. Definitely said intimacy is sin. Okay. Thank you, Kaden. My situation was more different. My ex-wife wanted a green card, nothing more. Oh, okay. But what did you want from your ex-wife? Why did you get married to her? Did you want to give her a green card? Hey, Holly. Hello, Miracle. Happy early Thanksgiving. Marriage is supposed to be the way to peace. Marriage is supposed to be the way to peace. I don't think so. You're supposed to have peace before you get married. You've been with your current partner 28 years without marriage? Thank you guys. Thank you guys so much. Y'all ready for number 5? We're almost at 40 votes. If you haven't, make sure you vote in the poll. We're at 39 votes. We're at 40 now. So let's go ahead and see what everybody is saying in the poll since we're at 40 votes. So 47% say yes. I'm very interested that most people are saying they are ready for marriage. 25% said no. 20% said I don't know. And then 8% said super ready, like today. They gonna get married today. Today, they're ready to get married today. Hey, T Cook, how you doing? So y'all ready for marriage? Hey, okay, shout out to y'all. So the number five, this is the 5th reason why you should never, ever, ever get married. Don't do it. Save yourself years of regret, stress, and cortisol. High cortisol rates in your body. Save yourself. So the 5th reason why you should never get married is because you are codependent. You are identity fused. You are very impressionable, especially to social media. This is the reason why you should never get married. Because as I kind of hinted towards earlier when it came to Love Island, all the little dating shows, much of our media currently is pushing moving fast in relationships, not really setting up a strong, solid foundation prior to committing. And it's being subconsciously shown in our mind that you have to move quickly with someone, have physical intimacy quickly, before even meeting their parents, or really even get to know their full name, and basically getting into these situationships. And just like Rico said, it's a form of programming that not everybody is aware of. So if you are very impressionable and you don't have your own identity, social media will be very controlling of you and your mindset. It's going to impress your mindset in ways that you won't even understand, and you may start having behaviors that's not supportive. So just like with the red pill, pink pill content, a lot of people's marriages, whether they were already unhappy or not, their marriage completely shifted when they exposed themselves consistently to that internet. And one thing that I keep seeing on my timeline now is how so many men are upset about red pill? Yeah, so many men are upset about red pill content. I didn't used to see this a year ago, but now it's something that a lot of people are talking about, is how they regret consuming red pill content and how it really destroyed their life. So that's not just for women. You know, more women are probably watching the dating shows, but men are consuming content as well. So you want to make sure that you're not impressionable and you're not having outside people who know nothing about you nor your situation affecting how you are experiencing your relationship with your spouse. So people high in external validation seeking have lower marital satisfaction. So you need outside validation in order to give you security in who you are, in your identity. Which, if you can kind of hint, if you can see the little things I keep saying, you'll see what number 1 is and why I chose number 1 as number 1. But If you need external validation, you need somebody to clap for you every time you jump. Baby, just don't get married. Why do you need somebody to clap for you every time you jump? I get it. Big things in your life, you need support system. But when I say external validation, I mean like consistently, all the time. Um, Also, identity fusion and codependency predict enmeshment in a relationship. And what happens when you are enmeshed in a relationship is you lose autonomy. And autonomy is one of the most important things that any relationship needs. And also, when you have identity and identity fusion, you create emotional instability in your relationship. On top of that, social media exposure increases relationship insecurity, because now you see you and your partner couldn't take a weekend getaway because he can't afford it, and then you see somebody else's partner gave them $2,000 and took them to Paris, and now you looking at your relationship like, you can't even take me to Paris. Well, you can't even take yourself to Paris, girl. You can't even take yourself to Paris. So how about we chill out? Let's chill out. Or even from the man's perspective, you see all these women with big booties and big everything, and they thick, and they just walking around, and then you got a woman who has a very slim body, but she's just as beautiful, intelligent, and a great woman. But now you're comparing her to what you see on social media, and now you're insecure in your relationship, and now you most likely stepping outside your relationship, in different ways to gain validation, because you feel like validation comes with a woman with a big booty. Okay? Thank you, Unique. So, Lucifer, you are late for class. Not over here at Team Natural Man. I mean, just because she got a big booty don't mean she not natural, baby. I see it all the time. It's natural. I see it all the time. Very natural. You can tell. Hey, Bama. Welcome back, Bama. Thank you, Rico. Okay, shout out to Unique. Welcome to the community, Unique. So if you need consistent validation to keep you as a secure person, you're codependent, you cry just because, I don't even know. I don't even want to keep going. Just don't do it. Don't do it. Okay? Don't do it. If you not even old enough, most of the time, most people who are the most impressionable, because it's 40-year-olds who's very impressionable, but most people who are the most impressionable will be young people under the age of 25 whose brain is not yet developed. So your brain is not yet developed. Let's not go and make serious commitments. Okay? Don't do it. Let's wait till you're at least 28. So somebody said, how about crack? Have you done it? Let me know. So the fourth reason why you should never, ever, 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 ever get married. Are you ready? Don't do it. If this is you or this is your partner, don't do it. If you don't have financial stability or literacy. Now listen to what I say when I say this. Listen, Linda. Listen. Make sure you like the video. I'm about to speak game and knowledge, okay? If you don't have financial stability or literacy, listen to what I'm saying. I never said if you don't have a lot of money. Because financial stability and literacy does not mean that you are rich. But what I'm saying is, you haven't even tried to learn about money. You haven't even tried to learn about budgeting, investments, long-term investments, stocks, bonds, retirement. Baby, you don't even have a retirement. You don't even have a retirement, nor do you have an emergency savings account. And you're trying to get married. It's not clicking. It's not clicking, because the same way that you need to be committed to your marriage, you're going to have to be committed to those finances. And like I said earlier, one of the reasons earlier that I mentioned is having not been committed to something. You haven't even committed to investing in yourself on a monthly basis for your long-term future, for your own self. But you want to be married. It's not clicking. It's not clicking. Listen, money conflict is definitely one of the number one reasons why people get divorced. And there, we had that whole conversation. Make sure you watch the video. If you have not watched the video, make sure you watch the video because it was such a good conversation. But money conflict is the number one divorce driver in most modern studies. Lucifer, don't play before you get muted. I won't block you, but you gonna get muted. So couples with shared money, with shared meaning around money, not just shared income, have the highest stability. So we talked about models of relationship, especially money models in relationship in that video. Make sure you watch it. That is, y'all, it's about to start raining outside. Now it's thundering. Got, look, y'all hear the thunder? The thunder was trying to hint to y'all, go watch that video. That was the click. Go watch the money video. I'm not even about to talk about it. But just understand, if you don't have that, baby, you don't even have you're not even self-aware about your money. You don't even reflect about your money. Baby, don't get married. Just don't do it. Okay? You have to be able to communicate with your partner about how they want to spend their money. And on top of that, what that leads to is that you guys have shared values, and that keeps you guys together. Okay. So, you know, you gotta be thinking about different beliefs that your partner have. So like beliefs like his money is our money, my money is my money, creates imbalance and distrust if your partner does not have that same mindset. So both partners have to consciously communicate about what you guys desire, how you guys desire to spend money, who's going to be the breadwinner, who's going to be in charge of managing money, if it's going to be both jobs, how often are you going to communicate about money, because financial intimacy is so important, and financial intimacy can lead to emotional intimacy. So, pay attention to that. If you and your partner can't even afford an ice cream cone, people do it all the time. People get married and they grow together. It's possible, but let's not make life harder. Most people want to get married. They want to be economically prepared. So let's try our best to become economically prepared before committing. I'm not saying don't be in partnerships. You and your partner dating together can figure these out as well. Just don't commit yet. Let's wait until you're ready, till you've taken a couple of financial literacy classes, you learn to budget a little bit, you talk to somebody about your finances, and then you and your partner have maybe talked to somebody together about finances, okay? That's going to be supportive. Let me see what y'all talking about. Them values mean a lot. Got to stand on them. Facts. I will probably say adultery is the main reason for divorce, not money. A healthy marriage, nobody would give up about money. Okay, and then you said, I believe in having a joint account for bills and savings plus our separate accounts. Okay. Sidar, hello. How are you doing, friend? So, y'all ready for number 4? No, we just talked about number 4. Number 3. We're down to the top 3, y'all. We're down to the top 3. I wonder if y'all can guess. I wonder if you guys can guess what the top 3 are. I'm going to read the poll so you guys were on the same page about the poll. With 57 votes, 46%, so majority of the people are saying yes, plus the 5% that said super ready like today. So about 50% of people said yes. And then 33% said no, and then 16% said I don't know. So this is where we are when it comes to everybody's mindset around if they are ready for marriage. When you keep living life, everything will make sense. I'm old school. Yeah. You said, who said that? Who said what? Girl, what you talking about? Lucifer, what are you talking about? Number 3. Make sure y'all like the live, y'all. Double tap the live. If you're not seeing a heart when you tap the screen, that's not double tap. Make sure you double tap the live, y'all. So, number 3. You do not know how to communicate needs. If you cannot say, I need, it's going to cause disruption in your marriage. And this is verbally and nonverbal. To build together, being educated is not a bad thing. Being educated is not a bad thing. Hey, PR, not you coming in talking about I need. Can I be your wife? No, thank you. So if you cannot communicate your needs, understand that misunderstood communication breakdowns and communication barriers predict divorce more strongly than infidelity. Okay. So, cultural communication differences can occur in relationships. Those significantly impact the marital conflict. So, communication breakdown is common. It happens every day. And I think I wanted to show y'all something, but I forgot. Ruler, you rule. I forgot to show you guys ruler communication, because this is an example of how communication breakdown can occur. But I don't think I have the image. Unfortunately, it's going to take me a little second to find it. Let me give myself like 1 second to find this real quick. Oh, no, that's Miss You Better. Okay. Y'all, please. I'm not married. Y'all, I don't think my future husband would be appreciative of y'all making these narratives up in the chat. So let's not make up narratives, y'all, okay? Let's not. Girl, this is not even. Girl, where was I at? Okay, thank y'all, They say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. How y'all feeling? Y'all beholding, aren't y'all? Y'all over there beholding? Oh, I may have not saved it. When I tell you I be saving so much on my Pinterest, I may have not saved it. But it was such a cute little image. And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. But I can't remember exactly what happened. But one of the things was like, you rule. And it was talking about a ruler. It was talking to a ruler like you rule. So in different contexts, you may see that what that means different. Lead than what you may think. Like if you are just talking to a ruler, you think you rule. Or if you talking to a ruler, you could be like, you rule. And like, you rule means like you're really cool. You're really awesome. Good job to you. Versus you rule is like you're an actual ruler that measures things. So depending on which context that you see, that is going to shift how you understand that phrase. So that's how easy communication breakdown can occur, and it's not meaningful. It's not like people are doing it on purpose, but sometimes you have to overly communicate so you can understand the other person's perspective. It sounded like the Burger King commercial. So again, we got to pay attention to different cultural communication. Like different cultures communicate differently. And marriage is 90% communication. Let's just say marriage is 100% communication. I don't know where they got the numbers from. To me, life is 100% communication. Remember, communication is just an exchange of information. And we are consistently exchanging information in order to survive. If you were not exchanging information with something or someone, you would not be surviving, because that's what allows you to grow. And you have to be able to decode the information that you receive from someone else. And if you don't have the context to decode the information, you're not going to be able to communicate clearly. So understand that communication is so important. And a lot of us easily misinterpret communication, and it's very easy to do that. So you have to be prepared to and be honest to say, we probably won't understand what we're talking about half the time that we're talking. But with time, we will work together to try to understand the other person's perspective so we can get a better understanding of what they're talking about. So you have to be able to say things like, I need water. Water, Sandy. Water. I feel anxious. I want a cover. I'm hurt because you stepped on my toe, you Bigfoot. It's be a little nice. But you cannot expect your partner to guess these things. You shouldn't even. Let's just start at point zero. Your partner's a baby, don't know nothing. Let's communicate in a way that they'll probably need every bit of detail for them to understand me. We have to be prepared for that to be a possibility. Now, Andrew, word choice. I'm very classy young lady. So, Number two, y'all ready for number two? We know communication is very important. If you cannot communicate, just don't get married. It's not. Let me tell you something. Sometimes you're gonna need to just write it on a piece of paper. Write it on a piece of paper and send it to your partner. The words will not be the only mode of communication. There are so many modes that you communicate: text, reading books, pictures. It's so many ways. Physical touch, pointing. It's so many ways to communicate. Don't just rely on words to help someone understand your perspective. So, passing notes. So, here's the second reason why you should never, ever, ever get married. We're almost down to number one, okay? What you know about that nonverbal, Meiana? You know I work with nonverbal people all the time. And they have to communicate without using words. So, that's how I know. And number two, this is the second, one of the top two. This is the second reason why you should never, ever, ever get married. Are you ready? You should never, ever, ever get married if you have poor emotional regulation. That means you get angry quickly, you shut down, you freeze, or you withdraw. Now, people have all types of trauma. You know, we all have to process trauma. And if you have not been able to process your trauma, that's going to be an issue in your marriage. If you have not had time to reflect about what you've experienced and how that affected you and the choices you make in your life and the decisions that you fall on, you are not going to be the most satisfied as you could be. Am I describing autism? Yes, I work with people who are autistic every day. No self-control, Andrew, exactly. Marriage is old-fashioned cultures. It's human-made thing, marriages. Exactly, because humans like stability, and that's the reason why people want to get married, is because it promotes security and stability long term. It's kind of the same way as people invest in things now, and it's like little investments that they do, and then 20 to 30 years later, they have like millions of dollars because they spend so much investing little small things every month or so. That's kind of what marriage can look like. So, you know, we don't want to just stick to all the negative aspects of marriage because there's a lot of positives. And because at one point, many people were getting married and they had no autonomy. Women were not autonomous and they did not have the ability to choose their partners. Their family was choosing their partners. And then even if they chose their partners, they didn't have financial autonomy. They didn't have the ability to speak up before, you know, laws were changed. Those were some of the biggest issues with marriage. Now, what's happening now is so many people have the opportunity to have autonomy. Now they're choosing love marriages, and love marriages are not as stable as really looking at this for the quote unquote business, as they say. But let's being realistic is what I would like to call it. Being realistic and saying most marriages don't work unless we have the same values and we commit to the same thing. So we have to be partners in this together. So that's just how I see it. I don't ever want to look at something that is beneficial in the long run to both myself and the family I create as something that can hinder me. I would like to see all the positives that I can find within it, because we know that all things have a negative downfall. And most of the negative downfalls come from the things that I'm discussing today. So, you know, this is just a short list, but, you know. So again, the second reason why you should never ever get married is you have poor emotional regulation. So emotional dysregulation predicts divorce rates at 72% in the first 5 years. So like things like fight, flight, freeze, responses, sabotage, secure, relating. So again, we know that the problem is not conflict itself. It's how fast you're able to get over the conflict that you guys experience. And if you don't have that ability, it builds resentment and it breaks the trust in your relationship. So you want to make sure that you have the ability to regulate yourself, because even like actual investments financially, if you're not emotionally regulated and you just pull out money and put in money just because, it will hinder you in your investing journey. So marriage is an investment, and it's a daily investment. Thank God you get to do it with someone else who can work with you. It's not by yourself. You have to be able to be stable emotionally before you just commit to something that will drag you through the mud if you don't have the ability to stabilize yourself. Sidar, why you delete that? That was a good response. I was gonna read it in just a second and respond to you. I liked what you said. So, marriage requires presence. It's a daily presence. We know the importance of leisure time in your marriage. So things like shutting down, stonewalling, which is like complete ignoring your partner, that's damn near abuse. Fleeing, yelling, withdrawing, those kill intimacy, and you don't have the ability to repair when you do those things. So again, we want to focus on building intimacy, and I've been only mentioning one type of intimacy because it's the one that's been coming up. But conflict intimacy is a real thing. Conflict intimacy is a real thing. When you overcome conflict, you guys build intimacy. Okay? My friend said diva. Y'all ready for number one? We got 75 likes today, y'all. Okay, but we need more people to like the video. Like the video, not likes. I meant poll answer. 75 votes. Thank you, Gianna. Once her respect for you is gone, you'll never get it back, and vice versa. As a man, if you lose respect for your wife, it's hard to get those things back. Do you like arguing? No, I'm not someone who argues. So, like, consistently all the time, I might say something slick, but like all the time, no. Hello, good night. Heard you saying you need a like. I'm going to hit it and keep it pushing. Well, thank you, Kathy. I appreciate you, baby. It's a wrap. We'll trust you again. That's the difference between us. Is that right? Man trust, you saying that man trust easier than women? I don't know. I don't know, buddy. Thank you. Y'all must like the hairstyle. I like this hairstyle too, y'all. I'm about to do braids in a couple of days. Okay, Kathy, what you cooking? A healthy argument is okay. Yeah, disagreement is normal. Men do trust easier, really? Okay. Y'all would know better than me. I don't know. What if I told you you can be happy alone? How? Are you asking me how to be happy alone? I don't think it's difficult to be happy by yourself. You're just a happy person. I myself am a naturally happy person. I'm happy by myself. Sometimes, days have days. You experience different things in life that makes you feel different emotions, but on average, happiness is not that difficult. If you just focus on getting your needs met, you will at least be content. And most times contentment is happiness. So I realize when I have no drama in my life, I am the happiest. So, and also you have to be grateful, just be grateful for what you have. That's what builds happiness as well. High values always come with low spirituality. Which one is you? I don't know. That sounds like a limiting belief. It is not difficult to be happy by yourself. Yeah, Kathy, I agree. We're not meant to be alone. Yeah, that's why you need friends and family. Mimi said, because I'm from a small town, I get taken advantage of from a chick from the city. I don't think I told you that, friend. I don't know. I don't remember that. Okay, big TV. Okay, period, Kathy. Kathy says she happy. Kathy says she's happy. Make sure y'all like the video. Love self, but most people are afraid to be with themselves because it exposes their truth, and human hate truth. Yeah. It's opposing forces, spirituality and materialism. I don't know. I don't know if I agree with that. A black book? What? Hello, everybody. Shout out to Cleveland, Ohio. What did I say yesterday? Lucifer, Lucifer. Andrew, where did you even get that from? Where did you get that from, Andrew? from Istanbul. Shout out to Istanbul, y'all. Hope I'm saying that right. Istanbul. Okay, y'all ready for number one? Then you clearly do not know the definition of spirituality. Okay, honey. Tell us more. What's the definition? Hieromania, being with someone forces maturity if you have perseverance. Okay, thank you, honey. It's too easy to quit and be alone. Okay. A black book with numbers? I don't know what we're talking about, y'all. Black books? A black book. Huh. Like the Quran? I think the Quran is a black book. I don't know. Y'all, my Instagram is Meiana the Sage, y'all. It's the same as my YouTube name. Y'all ready for number one? We almost at number one. If y'all ready for number one, make sure y'all like the video. Let's see what we can get to with a few people on live. If we could just get a couple of more likes, we can talk about number one. What y'all think? What y'all think can happen? Let's see where we are. Because we got 84 votes, so I appreciate that. Let's see what everybody's talking about with 84 votes. Black book is contacts. Hey, Trinidad. Okay, my girl said she's from Bronx. Don't play with her. So 50%, more than half of the people said that they can get ready. They are ready for marriage. Even the 4% said super ready like today. 32% said no, and 14% said I don't know. So I think this is a good amount of people. This is a good amount of people. Y'all saying y'all ready for marriage. Hey, shout out to y'all. Invite me to the wedding. Let's talk about the number one reason why you should never get married. Let me put my lip gloss on before I continue. The number one reason why you should never get married. Ooh. Oh, y'all must be her. Oh. Kathy, what you talking about, girl? Are you advertising some things and I'm not paying attention? Are we advertising things, y'all? What is going on? The number one reason why you should never, ever, 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 ever get married. Just don't do it. Don't do it. If you do not know your personal values, don't get married. I'm telling you. I'm telling you the truth. This is the number one reason. I have looked into marriage over 30 days. Over 30 days. Over a month researching marriage and coming on here talking about it with you guys. If I can find one of the biggest issues is personal identity and values. People not knowing their values is one of the biggest issues that I've seen in marriage. On top of that, if you don't know your values, you're not going to be able to communicate them. If you don't know your values, you're not going to be able to enjoy your life and be who you are and be autonomous. These are the things. You having a stable understanding of your values gives you a stable identity and gives you confidence to communicate it consistently. And if you don't know your values, it will be a problem. Understand that value alignment predicts long-term marital satisfaction more than personality, similarity, or sexual compatibility. Just because they good in the bed don't mean they good for the head. We gotta be for real. We gotta be for real. Don't mean just because they good in the bed don't mean they good in the head. Also, another issue is identity conflict. So identity conflict occurs around goals, money, gender roles, religion, and children. Some of the biggest issues that causes conflicts. And that's why repair is not occurring, because it goes against another person's identity, right? So those identity conflicts is the strongest long-term predictor of divorce. That means it's been settling in your spirit over time. It's been sitting with you and you've been so uncomfortable. Understand, if you don't know who you are, you cannot choose someone aligned with who you are, right? You cannot find someone who's a match if you don't even know what your puzzle piece look like. How you gonna complete the puzzle and you don't even know what your puzzle piece is? Without values, you cannot create a vision. You cannot build a home. You cannot make decisions. You cannot set boundaries. You cannot solve conflict, and you cannot commit. Values are so important for an individual. Like I always say, values is like the little light in the distance. Wow, wordplay. Values is like the little light in the distance, and you're on a boat and it's foggy and it's a storm. It's the little light in the distance that gives you direction. Values is a compass. Values are a damn near a map. When you are in any conflict, any problem, your values will be what leads you towards success. So if you don't even know your own personal values, you will not be able to communicate them. And on top of communicate them, create a shared vision. So if you and your partner are not able to communicate about your values, you will not be able to create a union where you have a shared vision and you're able to create long-term goals and stability in your marriage. And if you do not have the same values, it's going to be difficult for you to truly commit. Okay? So those are the 10 reasons why you should never, ever, ever get married. Don't get married. If these things pertain to you, if you just truly want to get married for whatever reason, take time to figure these things out for yourself. Sit down, journal, talk to a counselor, a therapist, someone that's their job to know these things and support you through these journeys. Make sure you do that for yourself before you commit to anything that is not going to be stable. Minimus said he knows about marriage, and he said that what I'm saying is a bunch of word salad nonsense that will not help you get married. Like I said, those are the reasons why you should never get married. Ross Style Lit said, why can't you keep a man though? Why don't you have money? Let's figure that out. Why don't you have a savings account? First correct statement in this whole thing. I'm going to delete you, Minimus, because just like your name is Minimus, I think that you're angry with me because your bank account is decreasing for unfortunate reasons. So let's not get angry at me for speaking the facts that come from peer-reviewed articles. I'm not making these things up. I read these things from peer-reviewed articles. This is what real scientists who study these things are saying. I'm not making these things up. So you guys can do your own research. I never tell you guys to trust me blindly. Do your own research, okay? Have fun with it. Unique said marriage is about symbolizing. I don't think I've ever heard that word before. So, and you said, are you ready for marriage? Marriage is about sacrifice. Yeah, my answer to that is no. I'm not in a point in my life where I am ready for marriage. Give me a couple of more years, maybe then. So, boo, it's hilarious. Right? People don't take it too personal. If you don't apply, then let it fly. Yeah. Member said, it tells me that her mom didn't teach her how to love a man. Her value is money and you can buy her. It tells me that you don't have listening skills. We need people with listening skills. I don't know what's going on with the people in the conversation not listening. I don't get it. Wedding rings is about unity. It represents your bond and connection. You say you've been reaching? And hey, Dominique. Yeah, I'm not making anybody a mod. I have a lot of mods, y'all. Have a lot of mods. We got to 100 votes. But I appreciate your desire. Comprehension is key. Not even comprehension, just paying attention, reading what exactly going on, listening to what exactly is going on. We need people with, listening skills and common sense. Because I don't know how we get from I don't even know where half of those responses came from. It sounded like emotional responses from people who don't know me, and that's crazy. I came thinking I was ready. Now I'm not sure. However, I'm not in a relationship yet, so I have time to work on it. Exactly. And I'm excited because we're going to talk. I decided to do our pop-up live tomorrow because I have class on Wednesday, and I'm going to be super tired if I come on here on a Wednesday night after class. Like, it's my longest day of classes. So I decided to do a live tomorrow, and we'll do our last live discussing how to prepare for marriage, especially in the dating phase. I think that would be the most interesting live um to do for people who actually have a desire to get married. Just because you're preparing for marriage does not mean you're going to get married a year from now, 2 years from now. But sometimes just knowing that you're in a preparation phase gives you an ease to life, to know that you are building the skills so that when it does come, you're able to manage it. It's not about rushing into anything. It's not about hurrying up to go date people just because you have this knowledge. What it's about is preparing yourself so that you can easily mix your life with someone else. You can communicate your needs. You can communicate your values. Even in a dating phase, you can easily get to know someone. So, no Friday, not Friday, this Friday. Am I done with Fridays? I am done with Fridays. I'm done with Fridays until Fridays show me something else. I don't know. So from now on, Tuesdays, I'm only going to go live tomorrow. But from now on, Sundays and Mondays are seeming like the days that I'm going to come on live to communicate with my people. Hey, y'all. That's when y'all on live anyway. So most of y'all at least. It's a good amount of people on live on Fridays. But Sundays and Mondays are great days so far. Cassie said they couldn't handle the truth. Yeah. That's one of my biggest pet peeves. Is like all you're doing is communicating about what you see. I'm not the one who did this research, y'all. I didn't go out and go get the data. I didn't go do these studies. I didn't do that. All I did was go and hold up. I got makeup on my glasses. Give me a second, y'all. I got makeup on my glasses, y'all. All I did was go and ask, girl, I didn't go ask nobody. All I did was go online, look and do the research, and put it all together. That's all I did, y'all. And I looked at the common themes in the research that I saw. Nothing crazy. Okay, it was nothing crazy. Pay attention. Think about it. Don't get upset by the research. This is what I think about those people who are getting upset with research. Hold up. This is the people who are getting upset with the research. Y'all ready? Boom. Boom. That's what I should have did before I deleted them. So, yeah, y'all. Mondays and Sundays do number. Yes, Rico. Mondays and Sundays. We got to 100 votes so far. So 46% said yes. 5% said super ready like today. 36% said no. 13% said I don't know. So that's what it's looking like, y'all, with the are you ready for marriage? Most people are saying that they are ready for marriage. I like this question again because it's reflective. It's self-reflective. People can think about for themselves what they feel like for themselves. Don't rush into marriage. Marriage is not for anybody else before it's for you. Marriage does support the people around you. It supports your community. It supports the children that you create. But marriage is first for you. So make sure that it benefits you as an individual, whether you are a man or a woman, whatever type of marriage that you have. Make sure it benefits you and it meets your needs and it meets your partner needs. It's not parasitic. It's, I don't know, what's the other way? When you have parasitic and you have, let me see. Parasitic versus symbiotic. I think that's what it is. Symbiosis. Symbiotic. Make sure it's symbiotic. Yes, that's what it got to be. Host me an Instabull, baby. You know, I'm not leaving America to go travel. Symbiotic, yeah. So that was the information that you guys need to know. If you ever wonder, should I get married? Let me go look at this video that Meiana made specifically to see if any of these things apply to me. How many men are out here saying they want to get married? It's a good question. I don't know. You will know better than me if you have male friends. They will tell you. But that's also just your community. I don't know how many men are the ones who voted. So maybe I should have put yes, I'm a man. No, I'm a woman. No, I'm yes. Maybe next time. Turn on G's. All got married, maybe 4 still married. I am unmarried, Lucifer. Friend, I'm gonna have to put you on mute. Like, you gonna try to kidnap me, friend. It's too many times. But you get a little 1 minute and give you a second to just think before you type. Jeez Louise. You gotta think before we type. So I'll put some emojis in the chat for y'all. Since everybody said I'm so money hungry. There we go. We love to eat the money. Eat the money. Get to the bag. What they say, girl, she ain't got no man. Hold up. What's the single emoji? Where's my single emoji, girl? Single emoji. A little island on the beach, chilling. Do women benefit from marriage more than men? Kobe, we made a whole video about that. Let me see, what exact episode was that we discussed this on. So in summary, Kobe, men actually benefit more than women when they get married. The reasonings was, and we discussed all of this about the pros and cons of marriage in an earlier video, but the reasoning is because men live longer when they're married, whereas depending on the type of relationship, a single woman can live just as long, unmarried, of course, but sometimes if the relationship is not healthy for the woman, they'll die quicker than a single woman. Or on average, if it's a healthy relationship, they'll live just as long as a single woman. Whereas a single man dies quicker than a married man. And there was a lot more information that we discussed. I think the episode was, a good woman can make you or break you. Here's how. I probably need to rename that and put the pros and cons of marriage for men and women. Maybe that'll be a better title. It helps people understand what's going on in the video. But forever get into the bag. Kobe said, I'm not a 50-50 guy. I pay for mine. I'm the head, period. Andrew, you probably a 0. Why y'all be arguing in the chat? Why do y'all be arguing in the chat? Hey, Kazoom. Yeah, you benefit more if it's to a good woman. That's the key. You gotta marry a good woman. A woman who got a healthy head on her shoulders, who's emotionally stable, who can meet those needs that we discussed. Autonomous, emotionally stable individual with values and personal goals and passions. So yeah, y'all want to talk about anything else before we get off of here? Tomorrow we'll be talking about ways to prepare for marriage, dating, all those things. So okay, Andrew said, okay. Really, any such woman, no offense to anyone. What you mean, Kazoom? Kazoon. So remember, y'all, don't get married if you cannot do those things. It's not worth it. So you don't get fined. You're going to be the next one fined, Lucifer. Where's Red? I don't know. Oh, he sleep. He sleep on the bed. He sleep. Y'all know he always sleep. He can't. Red, baby, babe, look at me. Come here. He just woke up, y'all. He's in a different world. Son, come here, baby. No, he don't want to come over here. So make sure, don't get married, y'all. It's not for everybody, especially those people who came in the chat hating. Obviously, they have no life values, passions, or goals because they come in the chat hating for no reason. It was weird. It was getting real weird for a second. But we back on track, and I appreciate everybody who's stayed. I want you guys to make sure that if you guys are seriously interested in marriage, y'all need to go back and look at some of those previous videos if you have not had the opportunity. We had really, really good conversations on marriage. It really expanded my own personal perspective on marriage. Remember, I didn't really start this conversation for my own personal interests. This conversation started because when I started coming on YouTube consistently, for some odd reason, many men would ask me to, let me marry you, come marry my brother, my uncle, my dad. It was interesting to experience. And so I said, all these men keep saying the same thing in my comments. Let's have a conversation about marriage. So with that, and seeing how marriage is viewed in our everyday life, I was very interested in having this conversation. So you guys, this conversation is for you guys as well. However you want to take this information, it will lead you in the right way because I use peer-reviewed studies. It may not have all been within the past 5 years, but these studies range from all the way in the 90s all the way up to currently. I did get a lot of information that was current 2022, 2023, 24, 25, So people are continuing to do their research on marriage. It's information being put out about the data, divorce rates, marriage rates, all those things. And we have to tie in all the things that we know to make a conclusion, to draw conclusions and get a main idea of what's going on in these marriages. Not every marriage is breaking down because they don't like to go skiing together every summer and winter, whenever you go skiing. Every winter, that's not why marriages are breaking down. There's a deeper reason as to why they're breaking down. Okay, shout out to Rico. Forever rocking. Forever rocking. Rock and roll. Rock and roll. Deep said, because you are what men are looking for. Good ass women. I know lots of good women. Everybody's, it's a lot of them out there. I'm telling you. I'm trying to put y'all on. I'm putting you down. I'm putting you on. Putting you down. Putting you on. Meet a woman they like that like them enough for marriage. Dang, Jack. Deep said these females can't even speak how you speaking. Well, make sure you go meet somebody who's highly educated. I love learning. I'm highly educated and I take my time to learn. Go outside and go find a woman reading a book. She's probably the one for you. How do women have so much testosterone? I think it could be because you might be comparing it to the modern days man testosterone. Remember, we made a video about the modern day man and the problems with what's going on. And the modern day man has a lower testosterone rate. So as the modern day male's testosterone rate decreases, if you're comparing it to the woman, it's going to feel like it's a little high. So we don't want to say they have high testosterone. Let's ask the real questions. Why are men's testosterone rates decreasing? Those are the real studies that needs to be done. So hey y'all, shout out to everybody in the chat. Women and testosterone Lucifer, baby. Lucifer. Processed foods, exactly. Hey y'all. We got 122 votes today, y'all. Y'all was voting. We got to do more controversial topics, y'all. Y'all like those. You like women with estrogen? Yeah. I bet you do. Make sure y'all go watch them other videos, y'all. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about before we get up off of here? Shout out to London. Y'all got anything else y'all want to talk about? Hey, Keeper. Keeper, what you doing, Keeper? Keeper, what you doing, Keeper? You know, I always be telling you something, you know, why you be coming on last minute. You be coming on here last minute. Keeper, what you be doing? Hi, child. Hello, hello. Literally laughing here. I'm glad I can make y'all laugh. Make sure y'all go participate in the poll in the community tab. If y'all haven't had the opportunity, go participate in the poll in the community tab. You just like listen to me talk. Hopefully, Lucifer, you take some of the information. Keeper said he a working man. I love that. I love that for you, Keeper. Shout out to the working man. Hey, to the working man. Why Ying said mama's boys. Where'd that come from? Lucifer, you live in London. You been to London. You love saying in it. Not you. You like it. Okay. Thank you, Brindley. Thank you, y'all. So this is the last poll of day before I get up off of here. Make sure y'all double tap the live. If y'all haven't had the opportunity, double tap. Turn on post notifications. Because my friend Allison is saying, I really missed out. You did, friend. That's why we need post notifications. But we'll be back tomorrow with our last live. Our next conversation will be talking about health. My lovely audience, my people, chose the topic. So I've been really thinking about how I was going to take this topic. Because, you know, I can't just go and talk about health. I got to go look at it in my own perspective and then communicate how I'm seeing it. So I can't just go and talk directly about health and be like, go exercise every day. We can't just do it like that. So I've been really trying to figure out what angle I'm going to take it. And I have an idea, but you guys will see whenever we get the conversation started. I think we're going to start the conversation Sunday. So on Sunday, get ready to start that conversation. You know, it's winter time. It's big back activities. You know, it's big back activities. The sun is going down earlier. People not getting as much sunlight. People getting depressed out here. We got to get back into our natural rhythm of life. Get healthy. So that's what we're going to talk about. So our last little poll, we had 125 votes. The question was, are you ready for marriage? 45% said yes, they are ready for marriage. 36% said no. 14% said I don't know, and 5% said super ready like today. So shout out to y'all, all the people who's ready, who not ready. I'm glad that y'all are self-aware. I love that for y'all. And I love y'all, and I appreciate you guys for coming on. Make sure you come back tomorrow for our surprise live for tomorrow. Everybody enjoy y'all's evening, and I'll see y'all later. Bye.